2025 Parks and Rec Cemetery meeting to order. Roll call, the members are all here. Trustee Saylor. Trustee, how do you pronounce your last name?
Fluger.
Fluger.
Yep, just Americanized.
Trustee Hummel, President Menzel, and Administrator Manager Martinson. So we declare a forum. Item number 3, motion to approve the consent agenda for May 28th and April 23rd, 2025. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Sorry. Motion is made and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That motion carries. Item 4, public comments on the agenda items. Do we have any public online?
No, sir.
No. Okay. Number 5, item number 5, chairperson comments. Yeah, we'll talk at the end of the meeting about going out and actually visiting the 2 park areas for upcoming meetings, and it's getting to be that time of year where people will be outside a lot, so that's a really good idea. Thanks for that, Ben. Item number 6, committee member comments.
Nothing.
Hearing none, let's go directly to item 7, and let's get a park update. Mr. Martinson, could you do that for us, please?
Yeah, so I'm gonna kind of start with cemetery, even though it's included. Last week, Monday, we had the VFW does their Memorial Day ceremony. So that happened last week, Monday at 10 o'clock. Appreciate the VFW coming down and putting that presentation. I believe the Port Edwards High School band was also part of that ceremony. Cemetery itself, with the rain last week, the guys worked hard at the end of the week to get that cleaned up, ready to go. It's always a big week. People come out there Thursday, Friday and do their spring flowers and clean up. So definitely that went good. We always have a little bit of controversy. Normally we start in May, we go out there and clean up all the flowers from, the winter time. People put flowers out, and we go out and we do a spring cleanup. Basically, we take garbage bags and we pick anything up that looks dead, shouldn't be there, whatever. So I've always, for the past years, I always receive a few calls and said, why did you pick my flowers up? And I explained to them that, we go out there May, and anything that looks dead or has been out there through the winter, we pick it up and throw it away. And normally they understand, but there's always those few people that do call. So if you guys get anything we've been doing it or whatever, and like I said, people, they're referring to me, I take the calls, and after having a conversation with them, I explained that, we have to keep it good. I mean, the flowers over the winter time, the weather, that, we have a very nice cemetery if you drive around, and we have to keep on our standards with cleaning things up. Other than that, our cemetery's in good shape. Looking for hopefully some good rain this year and keep it growing. We're going to do little crack filling repair, back with the cemetery budget, just keep up the roads and maintain that or whatever. So that'd be little summer projects out there. Get into our parks. We'll kind of start down here, the splash pad that is up and operating. We have 2 fixtures that we need to do a little work on it. Got some parts coming. Seems like every year, just minor repairs. The pad itself, you guys remember when we got that built, there was a lot of cracks in the concrete. We had basically a 4-year deal with Altman to seal it up. Now we're on our own. So I did purchase some sealer the other day from Wisconsin Valley. We're going to seal it here hopefully next week. We're going to pressure wash it tomorrow, get it ready for the weekend, and then we'll give it some seal coat next week and to try to seal up the pad. It's just something we're going to do probably every 2 years. Part of maintenance. Otherwise, that park is up and ready to go. Got graduation starting last weekend, this weekend, so we average 1 or 2 graduation parties a weekend. So I think we're in good shape there. I don't see any issues, and we'll keep maintaining that and cleaning that as weekends go on. Our smaller parks, Catholic Church Park, North Park by the north end of town, no issues there. Everything's up, functional. I'm ready to go. I will make a note. The splash pad park, when we go there and visit that, you will see that playground equipment that I've been discussing at Ripple Creek. We're having some of the same issues there. So we'll take a look at that. That's not such an importance like the Ripple Creek playground equipment is, but it's definitely, we're going to have to do some control here in the next couple of years to keep it safe. As for Ripple Creek Park, our main park, high school just got done doing their softball games through the school district going on. That had quite a few games there. That went good. Little League is up and going. That's pretty much 3 to 4 nights a week with practices. They've got their home tournament, baseball, softball coming up Father's Day weekend. And we've got some rentals there this year. With that, last year we didn't have a lot of rentals at Ripple Creek, but we've had some calls, so we will be renting out Ripple Creek Park as always. You know, that there, the post that people call, they have to pay a little extra to pull that post out to drive down there. Otherwise, we pull it out, people end up driving through the park. So there's an extra fee to get that post pulled out. Everything is in good shape there. We based last week, Thursday, I went to the Wood County Trust Bank and did a presentation to the Legacy board on Ripple Creek playground upgrade, the walking path around it, and also the pickleball, fixing up the tennis courts to be more pickleball lanes. I felt it went good. We'll see here in the next month or so what comes out of that. Again, that was a $500,000 grant that we're looking for upgrades through Legacy. So I'll keep you guys up to date on that. Otherwise, Ripple Creek Park is, like I said, I believe it's up to go. No issues there. Obviously this summer, the parks with Alexander Park with the road construction of Second Street going to be happening. We're working on the final plans on that and then have a town meeting with the residents on Second Street from Morrill to Alexander. You know, it'll be a little trickier getting into that park. Trying to work with a contractor and the YMCA to make sure we can have access into that all summer, for sure on the weekends. But we'll definitely do our best to keep that going. Open it, obviously, with the Y demo going on. We want to make sure if there's any demo work going on that things get cleaned up for the weekend so that people can enjoy their parties at the park on the weekend. So I'll keep an eye on that. Ripple Creek will be going to be doing for bunker from Brentwood Drive to Fish Street Mill and Pave. That's probably going to be later June, early July. And then obviously the culvert lining underneath for Bunker Avenue to Ripple Creek, which will probably be August due to some of the permitting from the DNR. So that shouldn't affect any of the parks. I know there was concern about the baseball, softball tournament, but I don't believe any road construction will be happening before that tournament. I'll make sure I work with the Little League and Wood County to make sure we keep everything open if there's concerns. The dog park is up and running, no issues back there. Tomorrow we're gonna go and mow the disc golf course. I always try to mow a couple times a year with the cool weather. I'm gonna go back there tomorrow. We're gonna mow that up. We did our yearly weed spraying on Monday morning or Tuesday morning. We did Ripple Creek Park. The guys come in at 5:30, spray all the weeds around the fence lines and other things to help on the mowing and the weed whacking, things like that. Tomorrow morning, we're gonna come in and finish up the last of our park spraying before our parks get really busy. So no issues there. That product dries, and by the time we do it early in the morning, by 10 o'clock, everything's dry. No issues there. Other than that, that's all I have for parks updates, unless you guys have any questions or concerns.
Just a question, for knowledge sake, if you rent Ripple Creek Park, does that mean you get the whole park? Is that how that works? Or tell me about that.
You get the shelter. We basically
Shelter.
we're renting the shelter, whatever. Obviously, the fields are not really reserved. Little League has those.
Yeah, I was
But
wondering.
if somebody does request, some people will say, I want the shelter and I want to play a game up on the top of the hill with family members. I do let Little League know that, hey, field 1 is being used on a Saturday or Sunday by anybody. But during the tournament, PBA actually reserves the park that weekend. It's not. I think this year we have a little bit of a conflict. Somebody really wanted for Sunday afternoon. We explained to them that the tournament's going on. But Sunday afternoon, if you want it, that's fine. But normally PBA reserves that park. But this year we had somebody really wanted it. And I kind of discussed it with people that let them know there's a tournament going on. If you want the park shelter, you're welcome to, but there's going to be lots of people in the park.
Yeah.
So, but in other words, normally we don't do that, but
Okay.
they really wanted to use that park that weekend.
Thank you.
Is that playground equipment still over there by field 3?
No, that when the dog park got put in, that was part of the removal because that was actually in the fenced area.
Where'd that go?
That fortunately ended up getting destroyed. Basically, it was cemented in, and with that ground shifting back there, as we all know, that stuff took abuse. So we tried to save some pieces. We put 2 pieces on the existing stuff at Ripple to patch it up 2 years ago, and everything else we couldn't save. But no, that's no longer there.
And that was gonna be my question. How much of it is modular? Like, how much can you just rip this part off and redo? Or is it pretty much you're wholesale replacing the entire thing?
So our plan is, we've been to Ripple is basically we've got a playground structure with 2 slides and a rock wall, you call it. That needs to come out. Stuff behind it, there's, the swings are gonna stay. I think there's some monkey bars that'll all stay. Basically, we're gonna be putting a new playground in, I wanna say it's 50, 60 wide by 30 deep or whatever. That'll be basically new slides.
Yep.
And a wall structure.
So
like
most
that.
of the plastic stuff is being replaced.
Yeah.
The metal is in good
Yes.
shape.
And obviously the starting project was we're shooting for the moon is basically taking all the sand out, putting the new rubber pads in, as we all know is gonna get pricey. I can't guarantee it's gonna happen. It's gonna be a matter of, again, the village guys are gonna pull out the existing playground. If we can suck the sand out, remove all the sand and maybe even install half of the matting in, we're gonna experiment. First, we gotta get the grant and then we can experiment of what we can do. And I know Eric is shaking his head. Anybody that's dealt with that stuff, I mean, it's pricey. It's a matter of, they're gonna draw up the whole thing. There's talk of maybe just putting half of it. The new playground would be in the soft matting. Maybe the old stuff would stay in sand with some kind of a barrier so it doesn't, and for future expansion. But again, that's what I'm hoping. But if we have some better answers on the grant, we can meet down there later this year. You guys can kind of see what we're talking about. It's gonna matter of come down how much labor our guys can do to save money. I mean, it's any project that we deal with, as you guys know. So and maybe Eric's got some better comments on that. I know he's spinning it. He deals with it more than I do at the school district.
What, do we know what Legacy paid for, cause all the Rapid School District or buildings got new play equipment this year. And if you drive by Mead right now, it's a pretty nice one.
Yeah.
I know Woodside got one. I mean, they all got them.
Yeah.
And Legacy paid a pretty good chunk of that. I mean, do we know what those costs were?
I don't have an exact answer, so I don't want to tell you anything off the hip. I've heard a million, but again, that's all rumor. And I don't, so, but I believe, when I'm pricing these units out, we're only talking half of it. I mean, we're talking 200-300 for the playground and another couple for the matting. Obviously the program that we're dealing with is, they do 50% off if we order it by November of this year, pay for it with installation of next year. So that's the whole goal, right? I don't want to get ahead of myself, but our goal is to be able to purchase it this year with installation next year and try to use some of these other grants from the playground companies that have them out there.
50% off.
That's what they offer. So that's just telling you, you and I know what goes on, right? I'm sure there's a markup, but I know the school district in Port 2 years ago, I believe, got one from a company out of Minnesota. He was here a couple weeks ago. But basically it's an incentive for them to sell product before the winter and hold on to your money all winter and then give you your product in the spring.
What's the plan moving forward then for Alexander Park if that one's failing?
The same thing. I mean, I'm trying to see if we can take some pieces off this one and try to put it over there. There's maybe 1 or 2 pieces I think we can salvage, but, there's another, DNR is doing, or the Wood County is doing some park, grant information coming up through the Wood County. So I've got some information. I mean, I'm gonna try to put some grant information in for, Alexander Park. I'll be honest with you, the YMCA, there's gonna be maybe some negotiating going on there, depending what goes on there. They're obviously applying for legacy grant with a tear down. There's some talk about asking the village if they want some property. So there's some moving parts there. So, I think we need to identify all of our situations and maybe we can try to use some leverage for that park if we need to for grants or the Y or, obviously we all talk about budget. We know our budget doesn't have that kind of funds in it, but we'll definitely have to be creative, just hoping the legacy comes through. That would give us a little bit of relief at Ripple Creek. And then again, we're right back at it on the next park.
So if Legacy does come through, like every playground has a design aspect to it and that's all the same kind of stuff. And if the pricing is competitive like that, is there a way to possibly move maybe the swings and the monkey bars from Ripple over to Alexander? Just as, if we can incorporate more in whatever design you guys come up with.
Yeah, whatever. I mean, the company, I'm hoping to get you guys 3-4 designs so you guys can make those decisions. I don't want to be, so my goal is that they're gonna get you guys 3-4 designs with prices, but yes, whatever. We need to use every piece we have, some of the stuff we've gotten over the years donated from other Rapids parks. Our swings, we've we've built them our teeter totters. So I mean, definitely we need every piece we have there, we need to try to incorporate it somewhere in our parks for sure.
So just clarifying from your comment, Eric, you're not saying, what you're saying is when we order the bigger piece, like that would come with swings? I don't wanna rip all the swing, like then there's no swings.
No, I mean, we just happened to drive by Mead the other day coming home from the grocery store, and that's a pretty
Mhm,
That's awesome.
decent facility over there, and I know that they did that on all of them.
mhm.
And they had swings and they had all that other stuff, so depending on what the cost is for the equipment and the design of the project or whatever, maybe those swings don't fit into the.
Oh, I see what you're saying, okay.
So then stealing from Peter to pay Paul over here just temporarily until money's found to possibly do something that.
Yeah, for sure. We're gonna have to get creative for sure, whatever. Like I said, I think the ideal is, I mean, the splash pad was at Alexander Park. That was a big purchase years ago. I mean, Ripple Creek hasn't had a big upgrade in a few years, so I think we definitely need to upgrade that and use the pieces that are there and try to fill in the other parks for sure.
Or another thing to think about, I mean, not every park needs to have playground equipment. You know, we got 4 parks, 3-4 parks, maybe Alexander Park, we don't put money into that. Maybe they're more of like a hard space, like when Boz was talking about putting concrete cornhole boards or something of that effect, because they're renting the space, they got the splash pad, there's other amenities there than a slide. Or we just keep an eye on Wisconsin surplus too, to backfill some stuff, but when you start talking about the costs of those things, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands for complete options, I don't think we're budgetarily able to afford to have play structures of that in every one of them. You know, back when we were a kid, we had that one with the bridge and whatever. Did the village build that? Because there was one behind the school. It was a wood structure.
I believe that was a combination of the village and I think I remember the Lions back then. There were different people that were, you know, we used to get telephone poles from Barry Amatuski's husband would put them in and we build things with ropes and chains. I mean, yes, there was definitely
This when safety was a little less of a concern.
for sure. No, I mean, we definitely.
Now liability and everything, I'm just being a safety nerd, but if someone gets hurt on a home-built structure. So 4 parks, are you counting the Triangle Park is what we used to call it over by?
Catholic Church,
Structure
yep.
Yeah, there's a structure there, and I'm wondering, do we have any reasonable understanding as far as utilization of these parks?
I think just because we've been in the parks a lot,
Yeah.
having kids, obviously. Ripple Creek is obviously the big one.
Mm-hmm.
Alexander, it's used, but I think most people use it for the splash pad.
And the rentals, I mean, honestly, that's,
So then you have the rental piece too.
So those probably are gonna be our 2 priorities.
Triangle Park is actually very busy.
Okay, and it wasn't
I
all
was
that busy
surprised.
when I was there, but I've been gone from there for like
Which I-
7-8 years.
some
Surprised.
families over
Yeah.
there. I mean,
Yeah.
and again, it's,
But it's a
there-
small-
you can
it's a
walk
small
across the
structure.
track, the school's got one there too. I mean, it's, so.
Yeah.
I guess I like that idea because all these parks are within riding a bicycle of each other. So it's like, oh, I want to go sliding. It isn't like I have to go 8 miles to
Mhm.
do that. And so that may be something we want to do and make something unique, special about the non-playground equipment
Mhm.
park.
We can even
Make
make
that
that
work.
kind of age specific. You know, you got Ripple, which can be like the granddaddy and have everything there.
Mhm.
And maybe we have some kind of features or something that are more for the young teenager
There you go.
area, whatever, at a different park. So you don't have everybody using the same, the things at the same, at different.
Change it
parks.
up.
There's not 4 cookie cutters at every location.
There you go.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Great idea.
And I'm not,
Think about.
I know, and I'm not old, I guess, but, the game now, I think Nakusa got important, you put the boards around, they put a ball in the middle and the kids go around.
The guy-
And that's one thing that I'll get 2 or 3 calls a year and say, can you put one in? And that's,
Fighting.
I don't know anything about it, but there's something that you and Betsy and Eric would know a lot more about. I don't know anything about it. Wasn't when I was in school, but I do get calls, I'll be honest, say that people always ask.
We have them at
About-
school and it's a very popular,
Mhm.
it's also like a fight club, but.
So,
Can be.
Okay, very good. Good discussion. Appreciate it. Any other discussion about, the parks up or the, public works update?
no, I just have something in a new business.
Okay. Great, all business is complete. Number 9, new business, Mr. Martinson.
So it's been a talk for about 2 or 3 years, and it's been on this Parks Committee, about a kayak launch on Lake Nepco. But we put future administration is here, we ended up with a kayak ramp off Highway Z coming off by the dam there up to the top. And basically when it was all done, we put a 5-foot dock out there, right? And I know, Trustee Humbles had some experience with it. It's not easy friendly. I mean, we call it a kayak launch, but it's a hazard. Simple as that, right? I don't sugarcoat it. So I'm working with DMI right now, or not DMI, Domtar. And I think we're pretty close to Domtar purchasing a kayak launch to install on that dock out there. I'll know more here in the next 2 or 3 days. It got sent to their board. Carl Rank, he's been assisting me through that, so I'm hoping that I can come with a picture, some news with you guys. We're working with MSC Dock Company out, that's on 54 Plover. We've got prices, we've got a PO right now that's going through the Domtar board, so I'm hoping we can complete that project and be no cost to the village other than installation. I say no cost, but like everything else, maintenance in the future, but I think it would add quite a bit to that, because like I said, right now, we call it a kayak launch, but it's unfriendly, so really hoping we can finish that up. That's something we've applied for DNR grants, and for some reason, we just can't seem to ever finish the deal. We get close, and then they come back and your project didn't make it, this and that, so I went to Domtar, since they've got the dam there and some interest, so I'm hoping that we can come up with a completion of that project.
What's the cost of that launch?
It's $2,900. So,
Have you seen that dock recently? Cause it looks to me like somebody has, or it's lower, the front end of the dock closer to the water than it was before,
okay,
but,
it could be, I mean, I
but
know,
it's still hazard and, I'd hate to have the Lake District come back and ask you to indemnify, the lake from any, injuries and so forth. So, I love that idea of doing that.
yeah,
So
so,
first off, recreational immunity. Second off, it's a known hazard. We need to do something about it.
yeah, so, well, I mean,
But recreational immunity at a later time.
we call it like I said, we call it a kayak launch. This was started previous administration and we never really got finished. So I think it's something that, again, as we discussed, that there's no financial budget for this. We've been trying to get money, so I think if we can get this, MSC will put it in. If I gotta find money out of the village budget, I want them to install it the first time, the
Yeah.
correct way, and if we gotta fix the dock, and then after that, my guys can install it or whatever. But I'll make a note if the dock has some issues, we'll go up there and check. I know we put the dock in early May. The guys put the waders on and went out there and put the dock in, but,
Well, that may be what they did.
we'll definitely, I'll
Yeah.
look at that, but like I said, I'm hoping that we can get this completed, and I don't know. I'm guessing what's gonna happen in the future, we're gonna need some more dock section, but for this year, I'm hoping we can get the kayak launch in, use the dock section we have, and something we'll have to look to see if we can extend that dock in the future, because I don't think one piece is gonna be enough, but we're moving in the right direction, I think.
You let me know when stuff like that might happen. I mean, actually happen. Thank you, by the way, for
Yep.
doing that. That would really be helpful because I get calls all the time about it.
Like I said, it's supposed to be, moving down the chain at,
Cool.
and like I said, I definitely wanna get some
Yeah,
pictures.
I won't publicize what might happen.
No, when I give you the picture, when it's installed, then it's final in my book, so,
Yeah,
but just wanna keep you guys updated.
Thank
so.
you. Any other new business today? Thank you very much. I did not receive any correspondence. How about you, Mr. Martinson?
No, just, I'm getting a lot of calls when the bike trail is gonna be completed, right? I'm hoping for, the Legacy Bike Trail. I guess I'm hoping for July. We got put back last week. We did pretty good work out there. We were able to get the hydrants moved. We've got a catch basin that, village crew is gonna be building Monday and Tuesday next week. All the utilities are moved except for Charter Cable. It's kind of one of them deals where I gotta keep shaking the thing. If you drive through Rapids, there's Charter wires held up downtown Rapids by bucket trucks right now. So they're busy in this area, so we're gonna keep after them. Tomorrow we're gonna be staking out from Verbunker to Pleasant View, that first section, and, I'm hoping here in 2 weeks that we can have gravel on that first section through Pleasant View if things go good. So I'm still hoping for a 4th of July blacktop. I've got the contractor scheduled for the week before the 4th of July, so, all the parts are here. Catch basins, everything here. We've got some gravel we pushed up. We did remove the black dirt. Wasn't something I had in mind to do, but there was quite a bit of black dirt that was underneath the trail, and we always need black dirt. So we removed the black dirt, have a big stockpile, we'll let it rot down for a year, and then we're gonna bring some kind of screeder in and try to screed it for black dirt. So
Cool.
we had a little extra expense removing the black dirt, but in the long run, it was to just throw that dirt away probably wasn't the right thing to do. And with Urkel donating the sand from us, the
Yep.
trucking, we're gonna do that. So I think we're still on board. Like every project last week, we went a couple thousand over on moving hydrants. We'll come up with that through the public works. That's, that project was, we talked about, we were gonna be right tight for budget, but, I think we're on track and people seem to be wanting to get it finished up for the summer. So I'm gonna definitely keep pushing forward on that.
Thank you very much. Item 9B, next meeting agenda items. I have two, just a quick update on Public Works. And then kind of a review of, want to go to that first or where?
I think we'll go to Alexander Park.
Alexander first?
Yep.
Okay, those would be the two items I have. Any other ones that,
No, that should be it.
okay? Next meeting date. So what was the date you were looking at there? Monday? Late
Third
afternoon?
is the 16th, the third week is the 16th, the fourth week is the 23rd.
I will be quite honest with you.
You always are.
The 23rd, I will not. The 16th would be the best for me. The 23rd, I will probably not be here.
The 16th, it looks like we have an Echo Lake District meeting at 3:30.
That's right. How about doing it at, can we do it like, is 4:45 too late to do it? Can we make the meeting at 4:45 that day?
It's up to these two. I mean, I think in 15, 20 minutes, walk through the park. I don't believe,
I have a double header on the 16th starting at 6, so if I have to bail slightly early, but at 6,
Okay,
it's a 4-minute drive into town.
4:45,
Yeah,
5:15, 5 o'clock, we can be done with that. Would that work for you, Eric?
so June 16th, 4:45, and we'll meet at the park or?
Yeah, we'll meet at the park. We'll meet actually at the shelter. We put the agenda together. Kim will change it to Alexander's shelter. That way, if it does rain, either way, it's rain or shine or whatever.
Okay.
The only thing we won't have is we won't have Zoom. And I'll just make a note on this. We did this before. There'll be no Zoom at that
Okay,
meeting.
sounds good. Great. Well, so without objection, I'm going to adjourn this meeting at 4:27 PM. Thank you very much. Good discussion today.
At Alexander Park,
Correct.
4:45.
Yes.
Thanks.
Oh, you're welcome.
just in time.